All right, we are recording. My husband out there. Wave. Hi. And Pumpkin. So once again, I figured this is going to be easier. I'm a Sadie to record. Pumpkin, you can't be a part of this, miss. Go to daddy. Anyways, I always start on the eye they can see. And usually if they have pent up energy, they'll I'll let them run it out a little bit before I do anything like turning them, make them work. Sorry, Pumpkin. I'm not going to really talk while I'm lunging because they kind of focus more on their other senses rather than since they have their vision loss, they focus on their hearing, their smell, and their touch. So I'm utilizing their other senses when I'm lunging. So I always start with the eye that they can see towards me first, let them run, and I use, this is about probably a 12 to 14 foot lead, lunge lead. I don't use too long right off the bat when I'm working with horses, just because I'm not necessarily knowing what I'm working with. I also don't start freehand or free lunging just because of the lack of confidence as well as their safety. When they build confidence, when we're on lead, I can guide them more based on my using the verbal commands over and over again, and then using the pressure. I try not to do too much pressure with horses, especially right off the bat, just because, like, if you had Rio, he's extra sensitive. The more pressure you use, or if you were to use the pressure, say like I would on Sadie, you would lose his trust more so than Sadie would. So I try to start light and then work the pressure up with these horses. So I'm just gonna start her up, get her going. We did work the other day, so she might not be too crazy. On you go. It's pretty muddy season too, so she's caked with mud. We try to get her a little bit clean for you, but it's the season. Sadie, out. 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 I also use a kind of a shorter lunge line, just to use the extension of my arm to get these horses out. Sometimes if they don't know, I'll do taps like this. Sadie, out. Good girl. Yep. Come on. Kiss her up. Come on. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Good job. As you can tell, she stopped when I told her to whoa. That's the biggest thing I want our horses to learn, or the horses that we bring in to learn right off the bat, is that whoa command to get them to stop. Especially eventually once we do take off this lead, I want her to confidently know that she's going to whoa in case she's getting too close to a barbed wire fence or something unsafe. Always teach them on lead first. This is just a rule I've always stuck by with dog training. If your dog doesn't come back to you off leash, then you have, hold on, let me get this straight. If your dog doesn't come to you when it's off leash, it's not ready for off leash. So if you can get a dog to come back on leash or on lead, even if it's a 20-foot lead, on command 85 to 90% of the time, you're gonna get that 85%, 90% time off lead. So same thing kind of applies for them, just because they can't really see where they're going, so they're building their confidence as well as we're implementing those commands into them over and over again with this lead. So I'm gonna get her out again. Sadie, out. Sadie, out. Good girl. Yep. Come on. Good girl. Easy girl. And I'm just gonna do this a lot. Get her to come into me. I want her to come to me as I'm her safety net. Every time she comes in, I'm gonna give her praise, give her affection. I mostly do affection. I'm not against treats. I do treats with Rio just because he's a little sensitive on the physical touch. Girl, I'll give you a treat since we were talking about it. But when they're not able to turn in or whoa like she did, I'm gonna give you a demonstration as far as like, say she didn't whoa. I don't want to trick her, so I'll still use the whoa, but I'll still basically pull her head into me to get her to stop. I'm gonna get her out. Sadie, out. Good girl. Oh, so she still did it for me, but basically I'm grabbing the lead and pulling her head towards me. So that gets her to stop. She's not gonna wanna run me over. She still sees me here. If she did, sometimes if you get a horse that's out of control, I just pop the lead to get them away from my space, because they still do need to respect my space, even blind. So that's the nice thing about having that verbal commands, or those using my verbal cues or voice controls. And then the physical is very important too, depending on the horse. Usually you don't want to be too hard. Sometimes you have more stubborn horses that you have to be a little firmer with, like Rio. He's extra sensitive and you don't want to be too hard on him. You got to be extra gentle. He's a little sensitive guy. Not you though. You're pretty good. Sadie, out. Come on. Come on. Easy girl. Come on. Oh, good job. Good girl. Sadie, out. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Good job. Sadie, out. Yep. Girl. Come on. She does this sometimes when she's lazy. Likes to stop on me. So I'll just keep her going till she's doing good. Oh, good girl. So she did see me move. I still use physical motions